All right, let's talk about some movies I saw this year. So I basically saw most of the superhero movies plus Jurassic World. So I'm just gonna give you my ranking of them. Not really ranking. It's just I'm just gonna blabber. I'm just gonna talk. So if you guys like someone who watch it, who just talks and talks and talks, you're on the right channel. But make sure before we get on to the topic, just subscribe, leave a like, comment, share this on Twitter, X, or Twitter and X are the same thing, like the. But share it on Instagram, wherever you have socials. So I really appreciate it. So with that said and done, let's start from the bottom. This will be very quick and short because I didn't really watch that much movies. Bottom of the list, Jurassic World. Scarlett Johansson was the lead. Okay, whatever. I watched her in the Avengers movies and all this other stuff. Just Jurassic World was disappointing. It was just recycled ideas over and over. Just like some of the whole superhero movies and whatever. It is what it is, and just I was disappointed. I was expecting some like next level dinosaur taking over the world and eating people in the middle of the street, and all you have to go back to the island and grab some DNA so you can cure Alzheimer's or whatever it was. Okay, now this is tricky. This is gonna be very tricky because we got Brave New World, you got Superman, you got Thunderbolts, and you got Fantastic Four. So when it first came out, I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. We actually finally got to see another monster in the MCU, the Red Hulk. But the thing is, it ended up they were trying to be like another Winter Soldier, but it ended up being like another Hulk project. You know what I mean? Like Thunderbolt Ross became the Red Hulk. They were trying to go to the island and from the Eternals to get adamantium, which will come into effect later on when the actual MCU introduces the mutants into the main MCU continuity, like 616, because we got Deadpool and Wolverine, which was the only MCU movie that came out in 2024, which kind of still blows my mind how that's ended up only being the only MCU and it made $1.2 billion. I think Sam Wilson's Captain America was fine. I think Anthony Mackie did a good job. Is he Chris Evans? Obviously not. To me, Chris Evans will always be the superior Captain America. Sort of like how Iron Man would be Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., and Tobey Maguire for me will always be Spider-Man. Like I really enjoy Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like don't get me wrong, I really do. But it's nostalgic for me. Tobey Maguire. I grew up. I was like 5 years old when that movie came out, and that movie really brought a lot of happy moments for me when I was younger. So Captain America: Brave New World was fine. They were trying to be a Winter Soldier, but it didn't really fall. Like it didn't really fit into that category. A lot of editing cuts were really wrong, like messed up. And then they introduced the leader of Snake Eyes, or the Serpent Society. Snake Eyes isn't that like a GI Joe? Desposito was wasted. Like, and then the leader, they had an original design of the leader, what had a big head, the leader should have, but then they ended up making his brain, like his head, have his brain show. Like, it's so weird. And then he predicted the future of the multiverse. Like, I'm not too familiar with the leader, but can he even do that? Whatever. It is what it is. Now, I'm kind of conflicted with the Thunderbolts and Superman because I really enjoyed both of those films. Now, Superman, it was more hopeful, lightful. Like, James Gunn actually knows what he's doing because look what he did with the Guardians. Ask me in 2013 or 2012 who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. Ask me. I will tell you, I don't know. I'm like, you're just making some Star Wars thing made up or whatever. No, so James Gunn turned to these characters and they turned it from nothing to something. And that's what he did with Superman. Like, Superman is not a nobody, but Superman was kind of like a... I don't know if he was like a damaged brand because of the CW and the Snyder fans were... The Snyder fans were just god-awful. Like, I like Zack Snyder's movies. Like, Man of Steel was my favorite movie in the whole era. But I don't know if Superman would be considered damaged, but whatever. James Gunn turned Superman into a lightful, hopeful movie, introducing Green Lanterns, Hawkgirl, a whole bunch of Metamorpho, Joey. He full on introduced the whole roster of the DC universe. Like when Iron Man started, it was just Iron Man, and then at the post-credit scene, Iron Man was met by Nick Fury, and Nick Fury's like, "You think you're the only superhero here?" Blah blah blah. And then as the MCU progressed, then they started making prequels to add to that story and to that narrative. But that's not what I'm talking about. Superman. I'm talking about the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a movie nobody asked for, but it was actually really well done. I think that the director of the Thunderbolts will be going on to be making the X-Men movie, if I'm not mistaken, the Mutants project. Going forward after the multiverse saga, because I think it's gonna be called the Mutant Saga next. We got characters from TV shows, the movies all mixed in, and that Kevin Feige said it wasn't as successful as they would like it because of the characters, and they came all from TV, which I don't think that's true. Like I think most of the true hardcore MCU fans watched the TV shows. I did. I watched every single one, and I hated Secret Invasion and I hated She-Hulk. Like so stupid. And the actress She-Hulk is another Dululu. Ding dong. I'm just gonna put it like that. So the action was great. They introduced Sentry, which is like Superman in the MCU, but with a darker turn. And it was all about mental health and like mental issues, like how they came together and worked together to solve the issue. And Valentina was just an ass. Like she just wanted world control, and she was doing corrupting government. Like a lot of the things in the U.S. government, apparently. I hear like there's so much corruption in every single government in the world. Like I don't know if that's true or not. I personally don't care, but whatever. So yeah, Valentina was created the Sentry Project, but failed except for one, and then they all came together, saved the world, and and the question is, where was Spider-Man? Spider-Man is in New York, isn't he? And the city went into complete chaos and darkness, and Spider-Man was nowhere to be found, and it's all because of Sony's fault. And Spider-Man usually would show up in those situations, but whatever. Yelena, great lead. The whole cast worked. I think it worked. The only thing I didn't like about that film is they killed Taskmaster really quick. I'm like, bah, shot to the head. Like, holy crap. Like, really? You had to do that? Kill him off quickly? But whatever. It is what it is. So I would have Captain America. I would have Thunderbolt. And obviously I already ranted so much about Superman already. So Superman would be the next one. And then my number one would be the Fantastic Four First Steps. Like, I like the Fantastic Four. Like, I think they're one of my favorites. It's like Spider-Man, Wolverine, and the Fantastic Four for me. And when I saw this movie, my heart melted. Like, I just love the whole family dynamics. Pedro Pascal did prove me wrong. Like, I didn't know how I felt with him being Reed Richards, because I saw him in The Last of Us and Wonder Woman 84 and all that kind of stuff. But he proved me wrong, and I was really happy. He used big words I can't even pronounce. So the whole family dynamic, bringing a new member into the family, Galactus threatening the Earth because he wants the baby, because the baby has all powerful, and it was pretty amazing. They did Galactus right, Silver Surfer right. They used Shia LaBeouf instead of Norman Reedus. I understand, because it's not the main perfect MCU continuity. So I'm pretty sure when it goes to the 616 universe, they're going to use Norman Reedus. Because Galactus, I'm pretty sure Galactus was shot to the far edge of the universe, but I'm pretty sure he was shot to the sacred timeline, which Doctor Doom is actually going to mess up pretty bad. But yeah, Fantastic Four was great. CGI was great for the most part, except for a couple of baby moments. And like, I know babies have certain rules to be on set, but whatever. I just like the whole family dynamic. Superman was all about hope, and don't forget there's light at the end of the tunnel. And the Fantastic Four, it just reminded me of the early MCU days where it was lighthearted, fun. It was serious when it needed to be serious. There was jokes when there needed to be jokes. So yeah, that's what we need. We need more movies like the Fantastic Four. Matt Chapman also did the WandaVision show, which he knew how to work in the retro 60s and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. That's how I would rank the movies I saw this year. So bottom of the list would be Jurassic World, and then Captain America, Thunderbolts, and then we got Superman and Fantastic Four. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, follow, do whatever you need to do to help me out and get this channel going. Thank you so much. See you soon. Be good.